This particular video is based on the technical analysis of the Hong Kong 50 index, and we're on the monthly chart. So what we'll do in regards to this analysis is identify the market structure of Hong Kong 50, market patterns that we should be paying attention to, key support and resistance levels, in addition to very important candlestick patterns that we should be paying attention to, and lastly we will try to show you levels at which we may potentially look for buy and sell opportunities, right? And yeah guys, without wasting any further time, let's get straight into the actual chart and technical analysis. And we're on the monthly chart, as you guys can see. And just to recap, the last time we spoke about this particular chart, we had mentioned that we have this very strong level of support, and what may possibly happen is we may get a second leg of a W structure or double bottom, and at this point over here is where we may look for potential buy opportunities, right? And we can see also that if we were to look at the February candlestick, it was a bullish candlestick, and it's a good indication that we may potentially see the market actually from where it is currently move further up, or we may see a situation where the market actually moves to the actual low, right, to just have a rejection there and then potentially move further up to give us this double top, as I said, right? So what else do we have, right? From here I'm just gonna head down to the weekly chart, and here we are on the weekly chart. And just remember guys that on the monthly chart we spoke about how the market given us this structure, and we may potentially see the market actually move further up, right? But just looking at this particular structure or the weekly chart, we can see also that if we were to look at that candlestick, it is a bearish candlestick, and that's last week candlestick. It contains the information from last week's price action. And one of the reasons why I believe that actually this particular candlestick closed as a bearish candlestick is because if you were to look at the prior candlestick, right, it is a bearish candlestick as well, with a small body and quite a long lower wick. And you guys know that we have a lot of money whenever we have these types of candlesticks, you know, stuck at the bottom. So it makes sense actually for the market to push further down to around that level, because the previous candlestick, which is this one, was carrying a lot of money. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. So yeah, price needed to come down and we may potentially see the market move up. And that is also because if you were to look at this area over here, you would see that we have a very strong level of support. In addition to that, we have the formation of another smaller W structure there. And you guys know that whenever we have these, we want to see price breaking sufficiently above the neckline and then come back to the neckline to give it a test. And where the neckline is where we may look for those potential buy opportunities, especially if the neckline aligns with any key numbers that we have in regards to the Fibonacci retracement tool, right? So price came back to the neckline to give it a test, and as I said, at this point we may see the market continue to move further up, right? In fact, I'm just gonna add my neckline for that particular structure. Just bear with me. Right, so we could say more or less that this is the neckline of our W structure. And I also know that a lot of you may be looking at this area over here and thinking that it is not a W structure, but trust me, it is. When we go down to the smaller time frames such as the daily and the H4, you will see that we have a very nice W structure over there, right? Another thing that I also want to bring to your attention is that as much as we have that W structure, which is over here, which has a neckline there, can you guys also see that we have what seems to be an inverted head and shoulders pattern forming? And at this point over here would be the right shoulder, this would be the left shoulder, and this area over here would be the head, right? So we have two very important candlestick patterns that are telling us that we may potentially start to see the market actually move further up. I hope you guys can see that, right? However, before you buy, I believe that we need more reasons, more confirmation, and more confluence, right? Anyway, I'm just going to zoom out a bit, right, so that you guys can see exactly where we are in the chart, on the weekly chart. And just bear in mind that we have the structure that I spoke about as well, right? So what else do we see in regards to the weekly chart? At this point I don't see much, guys. So what I will do is head down to the daily chart, and here we are on the daily chart. Let's have a look. I'm just going to start off by adding my daily channel. Just bear with me. And I would add my daily channel more or less in this manner. let's have a look, let's have a look, let's have a look. There goes our daily channel, and there we go. Right, and here we are again on the daily chart, as I said, guys. And just to recap again, remember on the weekly chart we spoke about how the market had given us this particular structure, and at this point over here we may see the market actually start to move up, right? Another thing that we spoke about is that the market had given us a W structure here, but now that we're on the daily chart, can you guys see that we actually do have indeed a nice W structure or double bottom, and it's actually an overextended W structure or double bottom, where that first leg of the W is much lower than that second leg. And as I said, we have a neckline there, which is over here, and we may see price having tested that neckline start to move further up, right? Another thing that I also wanted to, guys, at this point in time is just utilize the Fibonacci retracement tool. We just want to see if the neckline of this W structure, which is also a very strong level of support, aligns with any key numbers that we have in regards to the Fibonacci retracement tool, right? So what we're doing at this point in time is gathering more reasons for why potentially at that neckline we should start to look for buy opportunities, right? So let's have a look. And in as far as Fibonacci goes, let's have a look. Actually, I would have it like this. In as far as Fibonacci goes, we can see that the neckline, which is over here, we could say more or less aligns with the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level, which, as I said, adds as further confluence and confirmation in as far as looking for potential buy opportunities go, right? Before we proceed, guys, let's count all the reasons why at this point in time we may potentially look for buy opportunities, right? Reason number one is that we have, remember, this W structure, right, which has a neckline at that point, right? Number two, price broke to the upside of that neckline and then came back to the neckline of that W structure. Number three, the neckline of the W structure is now a very strong level of support and tells us that we may potentially start to look for buy opportunities, as I've said, guys, right? Number four, we have the neckline, which is over here, of this W structure, aligning with the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement tool, right? So that's reason number four, that motivates as to why we should potentially look for buy opportunities, right? And the last reason number five, is that, remember, we have this pattern, which is an inverted head and shoulders pattern, with this side being the left shoulder, this being the right shoulder, and this area over here being the head, right? So we have many reasons at this point in time why at this point we should start to look for potential buy opportunities, right? We have many reasons, right? Having said that, we're not just going to buy just based on those reasons that I've given you. I believe that on the lower time frames we need more reasons, right, before we actually make any buy decisions. But so far, based on all those reasons, I would say that for the most part I would look for potential buy opportunities. Anyway, from here I'm just going to head down to the H4 chart and let's have a look. And in fact, let's go back to the daily chart again. I think there's something that I missed. Let's have a look. So just bear with me. Another thing that I also want to bring to your attention is that in the last video that we had, let me just actually zoom out. In the last video that we had, as much as the market had given us the structure, right, the market had also given us an opposing structure in the form of a double top here, which has a neckline there, right? And here again, price broke to the bottom side, went up to the neckline to give it a test, and we saw price move further down, right? But we saw again in the future the market coming back to the neckline, which is now a very strong level of resistance. And at this point in time, it is quite possible that, as much as I'm saying that here, where we have the neckline of this W structure, we may potentially actually see the market move further down, right? And just to zoom out, remember, guys, that on the monthly chart I spoke about this level, and I said that we may actually see price come back to that level to reject it properly and then only move further up, right? So we just need to be careful because, as I said, guys, we have two opposing structure. We have that head and shoulders pattern, that W structure. Just bear with me, let's have a look. So we have, as I said, guys, we have this W structure, which has a neckline there. In addition to that, we have this double top, which also has a neckline there. And at this point, is a very strong level of resistance, and we may see, as I said, price move down. Well, it has moved down and it's at this neckline of the W structure, and the market may disregard this level and continue to move further down, right? So we just need to be careful, but for the most part we have a lot of reasons for why at this point we should be looking for potential buy opportunities, right? But just also bear in mind that even if we do find any good, let me just actually zoom out a bit, or rather zoom in. As much as we may potentially find good buy opportunities over here, just bear in mind that it is possible that the market may head to this level only to at that level move further down, right? And especially because remember, whenever it comes to these structures such as the overextended W structure, what happens quite a lot is that a lot of traders and investors buy on that second leg and they place their stop losses below. So we have a lot of stop losses located here, right? And that's liquidity. And as I said, we may see price from this level move up, bounce from this area only to move further down to grab all of those stop losses, as well as to move further down, right, to give us that second leg of that huge W structure that I spoke about. Remember, guys, so what I'm saying in other words is that we need to be careful, right? We need to be careful because trading the HK50 is a bit tricky and complicated, and we just need to make sure that we use good money management, and we use as many confirmations and confluence as possible to ensure that at the end of the day we are as close to, you know, like the right side of doing things, you know, as much as possible, right? Anyway, from here let's head down to the H4 chart, and here we are on the H4 chart. And just to recap, right, on the daily chart, remember guys, just bear with me. On the daily chart we spoke about how the market had given us this huge M structure which has a neckline there, and we said the market from where it is currently, which is somewhere here, may head up to that level only to push further down, right? Keep that in the back of your mind. We also spoke about how we have this W structure in addition to this pattern over here, which is an inverted head and shoulders pattern, right? And just to zoom in, we said that for the most part, because we have a lot of reasons that motivate for why at this particular area we should be looking for potential buy opportunities, it is quite possible that we may see the market from this level only move all the way to that level, which is now a very strong level of resistance and the neckline of that big double top. And we can see that it's a very strong level of resistance because we had multiple rejections in and around that area, and at this point we may see potentially price moving further down, right? We may see price moving further down, right? Remember that, guys. But anyway, here we are on the H4 chart, and let's see what is happening on the H4 chart. I'm just going to make it slightly bigger and let's have a look. All right, and I'm just going to start off by actually adding my channel, my H4 channel. Just bear with me. There we go, there we go, there we go. There goes my H4 channel. And then as far as the H4 channel goes, we can see that we are in an upward trending market as well, which adds as further confluence in that indeed we should potentially be looking for buy opportunities, right? So here we are again on the H4 chart, guys. What do we see on the H4 chart? Remember, guys, this area over here is the neckline of that huge W structure, right, that we spoke about on the bigger time frames, right? And price is here more or less, right, as it came down from here to here, right? And I said here is where we should look for potential buy opportunities, right? But what do we see in this area over here? In that area we can see that the market has given us actually another W structure, which adds as further confluence that indeed we should be looking for potential buy opportunities, right? And remember, guys, so we have this pattern on the bigger time frames, right? Price broke to the upside of that neckline, came back to the neckline, and on the H4 chart has given us another smaller W structure. So a lot of people have actually bought on the second leg of the W structure, and they will be taking their profit more or less at that point, right? So that's number one. Number two, also there's a lot of stop losses located here, and we may potentially see a stop hunt to the bottom, where price moves down to grab those stop losses, and then only potentially move up to this area, and then at that area we may then again see the market move further down, or even continue to move further up, right? But based on what I'm seeing right now, as I said, we have this, and a lot of people actually bought here, and their first take profit will be this level, as it is a very strong level of resistance, right? Others I know are actually waiting for the market to close above this trend line, right? And once the market closes above this trend line, as well as closes above the neckline of the established structure, which is over here, and which is also now a very strong level of resistance, right? A lot of them are gonna again wait, or rather look to increase their orders or their trades and buy again at that level. But right now, based on how things are, I'm not seeing any actual buy or sell opportunities, right? But for the most part, I still say that I would look for potential buy opportunities here, and we may see, as I said, the market potentially closing above the neckline, coming back to the neckline again, and at this point is where many will be looking to add to their orders, because this channel over here would also have been broken, right? It would have been broken, and yeah, so that is it really in as far as my analysis goes. But in as far as buy or sell opportunities as things stand, I don't see any, but we'll see how things unfold over the next couple of hours. But myself personally, I will be looking for potential buy opportunities, but should I find any good buy opportunities here, my first take profit will be around here somewhere, and at that point is where we may potentially see the market continue to move further up or even further down, because it is a very strong level of resistance, and in fact it's a key level, right? It's a key level. And anyway, so that is it in as far as my analysis goes. I hope everything that I've said makes sense, and peace out.